This week on Toys of the Jedi, the entertainer in the UK gets in some rather rare stock at some incredible prices. Yakface.com discover what the next couple of waves of Vintage Collection and the Black Series should look like. And it looks like we'll have Star Wars product coming out of our ears, with new TV and online series being announced by Disney. Hi, I'm Chris Cook, your host for Toys of the Jedi. Now, in the last couple of weeks since we last did a video, the entertainer has released a huge amount of toy stock into their shops. This is mainly the Black Series 6-inch and 3 3/4 inch scales, and these are all absolutely fantastically priced. Now, we did show some of this on our Twitter feed, our Instagram feed, and these have been trickling through for a little while now, but finally some really interesting figures have come through, particularly the Jawas in the 3 3/4 inch scale. Now, this pair, absolute bargain for a £5 a set, absolutely fantastic there. But of real interest has been the Republic Trooper. Now, this chap was never actually released in the US on this card. He was previously released in the Vintage Collection, but never in the Black Series. And the Vintage Collection version was an online exclusive, even back when it was released. Now, this is all Italian stock from a magazine called La Gazzetta del Sporto. Now, it was a subscription-based thing. You could get a figure a week, sort of thing that happened over in Italy, and it appears that sort of stock has been bought up by the entertainer and is being sold here in the UK. Now, like I say, I was managing to pick this one up for a £5, absolutely fantastic. Although apparently, I am hearing reports that the entertainer have caught wind that this one is a particularly rare one and have bumped the price on these ones up to £15. Your mileage may vary, so be careful. Do bear that in mind when you're out on the hunt. But well worth checking out, even for £15. Absolutely fantastic figure. Now, as far as the 6-inch figures go, again, they've had the Han Solo film figures for about £11 for a while now. So you can pick up a Captain Rex as well, Praetorian Guards, the Emperor's Royal Guard, Lando, all sorts of amazing deals on those. But they've also started getting in the 6-inch orange carded figures. Now, again, these are from the Italian subscription magazine. This one, £11 at the moment. Absolutely fantastic for a bit of an army builder figure, and it's really good to see those coming out again, especially as they were going for quite a markup on the secondary market. The other character that has made quite a big impact is, of course, Darth Maul. Now, this chap again was seeing some reports of him being bumped up to about £22 in some of the stock shops, so your mileage may vary as to what price you can get him for. I managed to pick this one up for £11, and it's all genuine stock, absolutely fantastic stuff. So again, another one that was going for silly money on the secondary market. So I did break this chap out of his packaging to take a little bit of a closer look at him. Now, the Republic Trooper here, he's, like I say, absolutely lovely figure. Some wonderful deco on him. Possibly a little bit sloppy on the visor there, not the cleanest there, but absolutely fantastic nonetheless, and fully loaded with articulation. So got plenty of nice articulation in the shoulders there, in the elbows, plenty in the wrists too. The helmet pops off, of course, to reveal this this lovely mug here. Fantastic. And yeah, he comes also with a nice little pistol which pops into the holster here, and a knife round on this side to go into that holster there. He also comes with this ridiculously oversized cannon, which is actually quite a difficult one for him to hold. It doesn't fit brilliantly in his hands. But that's what he came with. It is quite a faithful representation of what happened in the video game. So yeah, fantastic figure, and again, well worth tracking down if you can find one. Right, so as I mentioned at the top, Yakface.com have managed to track down some information on the next waves of Vintage Collection and the Black Series, which should be hitting shelves in January sort of time. And these are actually showing up for pre-order now. ID Toys have actually put theirs up, as have Darkside Toys here in the UK. Not sure about the US retailers as yet. Now the next wave for the vintage collection contains Yak Face. There should be 2 per case for him. Klaatu the Skiff Guard, again 2 per case for that one. The Scarif Stormtrooper, which was a difficult figure to get in the Black series, again that one's going to be 2 per case. The Princess Leia Organa in her Bouche disguise, just 1 per case on those, and the Range Trooper from the Solo Waves. That's a bit of a repack there, but it's a sensible one because I've only managed to get one of those figures. Would love to get a couple more. All in all, the entire wave here is a fantastic set of figures, worth probably ordering just a full case of these and being done with it. One to keep carded, one to open up, especially as the only one that really doesn't come as 2 per pack is the Princess Leia in the Bouche disguise. And we did receive her in the Black series, although this one does have a better paint job, so it's up to you what you do on that one. But this one, it really looks like a sensible case mix for what they're putting out this time around. Moving on to the Black series, and there's some of those fantastic, only recently revealed figures that are going to be coming out in January in this next wave. Now, this is going to consist of 2 figures of the Padme Amidala in her Geonosis Arena outfits. Should be a popular one there, so sensible amount of figures going into that one. They're also packing 2 battle droids per case, again fairly sensible being as this was an army builder. Mace Windu is going to be just 1 per case. Not sure how that one will pan out. He'll probably be quite a popular character, so I'd expect him to be carried forward into future waves. Vice Admiral Holdo, who was actually shown back at San Diego Comic-Con quite a while back now, is finally getting her release in the Black Series line. So I wasn't a huge fan of The Last Jedi. We'll see how this one goes. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a one and done, one only put in this wave, and we'll see what happens from there. There's going to be the Han Solo Mud Trooper figure. Now this one does look fantastic. 1 per case here, maybe be carried forward going forwards. I don't know. And then Dryden Voss rounds out the wave. Again, he's just 1 per case on that. Now this wave has a nice selection of figures in it. There's 3 prequel characters in there, something that's been severely lacking in the Black Series line up until now. There's also 2 from Solo, which is probably my favourite of the new films that have come out. Rogue One is pretty close on there as well, so I'm not sure which one of those 2. And just the one Last Jedi figure there, rounding out the wave. So yeah, it's a nice mix. We'll see if this is something I'm going to progress with, whether it's 3 from a particular source or what. But yeah, this is one that should definitely please Black Series collectors. So not that long ago, Bob Iger announced that they were going to be doing a bit of a slowdown on the release of new Star Wars media. Since then, it's not really been holding true to what's actually coming out. We've had The Mandalorian announced. The Resistance show is now airing on the Disney XD channel. And I've had a bit of a look at it. It's not for me, not at all, I've got to be honest. It's quite light and fluffy. It is definitely aimed at a much younger audience. I am not the target audience here. There may well be some nice characters and ship designs and what have you, some nice toys that come out of it, but the actual storyline doesn't seem to have a huge amount of meat on the bones. So, like I say, it's not aimed at me. I hope that a lot of kids do enjoy it, and it does introduce them into the rest of the saga, and we get on a few more fans as a result of that. Obviously, you do have to build them in at a young age to make them fans for life. It's what happened to me after all. But yeah, so that's Resistance. It is still airing and coming towards the end of season 1, I believe now. Outside of that, we've also had news of a new TV show that's about the adventures of Cassian Andor. Now, as I've just said, I loved Rogue One, and Cassian was one of the better characters in there, absolutely. So I'm really looking forward to this. So much potential for all the different characters that could come into it, but also a huge amount of potential for new characters as well. Obviously, we know what happens to Cassian Andor. We know where his future is going. So without delving into that too much, but what happens to him before he gets there, what shapes him into the person that we see at the beginning of Rogue One, is definitely something that I'm interested in. There's also potential, obviously, for Alan Tudyk to return as K2SO, which I would really love to see. It's set in that OT time frame, X-Wings, Y-Wings, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really can't wait to see what this TV show brings to the fore. The Mandalorian as well is looking like a decent one. Jon Favreau, absolutely fantastic that he's on board. Seen George Lucas on set, which is always a good sign that it's getting his sort of seal of approval. And yeah, a nice little 10-part broken down series, and yeah, that one should be a good one to look forward to as well. Again, set in an interesting time period within the Star Wars universe, so fantastic news there. There was some other news that came in rather late on, and that is that Steve Evans has actually taken a promotion and will no longer be running the Hasbro Star Wars line. Now, this is a shame in some respects, because obviously Steve has actually spent a lot of time talking to Star Wars fans over the years. It's clear that he had a lot of passion for the Star Wars brand. He was a collector in his youth, and obviously played with the toys as a kid. So, in some sense, it's a bit of a loss to us fans here, but nevertheless, it's a big step up for Steve. So all the best to him, and we wish him nothing but the best of luck here at Toys of the Jedi.
Echo Base, this is Rogue 2. I found them. Repeat, I found them.
So other than the bits and pieces that you saw earlier on the show, there were a couple of other new acquisitions that I've managed to pick up. Again, most of this stock was from the Entertainer. So first up, there's the Shore Trooper. This is the Lego one single bagged figure. These should be retailing for about £4, but they seem to be going for about £2 in the Entertainer there. Nice little figure, quite difficult to do with one hand holding the camera. They also seem to have got in a load of stock from the Solo film. This is the first wave of figures. Now, these didn't show up at all, as you saw in the Wookiee Weekend video. We got none of these whatsoever, but they have started showing up in the Entertainer stores, and included in that is the Mimban Stormtrooper. Now, he is a lovely little figure. They've got him in a decent pose, so they seem to be getting their head around the idea that these things shouldn't just be arms stood out straight, and yeah, lovely figure there. These ones were £3.33, so effectively you can get 3 for a tenner. There's only one Mimban Stormtrooper per case, so I was lucky enough to get the only one that the shop did have in there. But I also picked up Kira, or Kira, I still can't get the hang of that. Again, nice little figure there. Let's see if we can get a zoom in on her face. Too close. There we go. Yeah, so again, nice figure, and very pleased with that one. And of course, the other figure that was in the this wave that I was particularly interested in was the Range Trooper. Now, this is another army builder. Looking forward to getting hold of the vintage collection version of this one, because of course the added articulation, but for £3.33 I'm not going to be complaining about that at all. So very pleased with those. They did of course have the other figures that were in the wave. That was the Maz Kanata with the jetpack, the Luke from The Last Jedi, a Chewbacca figure in there as well, and yeah, already had couple of those figures. Wasn't interested in getting the Chewie just for the really bouffant hair and the goggles on that one. May go back and pick it up. Like I say, only $3.33, not the end of the world. But yes, good to see that the Entertainer are getting some fantastic stock in. Hoping that they'll pick up the vintage collection line, get some of those stock in. That is starting to show up in some of the shops, so hopefully they'll get some more of those stuff. But that's my pickups for this week. And that's our show for this week. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure that you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, both at Toys of the Jedi. Please also share this video wherever you do your sharing, as it helps us to grow the channel and get the word out to as many Star Wars fans as possible. We've also, as you may have seen in the last video, been started a series about the Kenner 12 backs. We're going to be upgrading those and going through the rest of the series as it rolls along. So next will be the 20 back and the various cards that were released in that series. Look forward to that one coming up very soon. Got a couple of other ideas for stuff coming up in the build up to Christmas, which is typically a quieter time for toy news, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Until next time.